Welcome to the Become the Best You podcast, where we discuss everything personal development and listen to real life relatable stories from individuals that are on a mission to become their best self. Yeah, bro, Jack, welcome to the podcast. We'll just dive straight in with it, mate. I thought it'd be great to get you on here because, as you know, you've got a great story, great transformation. If we can share any wisdom or insights for other people to feel inspired, I would love to do so, man. So let's start with your journey and how you've changed. What is it that drove you to change?
For me, I would say it probably comes down from years of saying to myself, I need to change. Years of Danny telling me I need to change. Years of telling her I'm going to change. Years of looking at my kids saying I'm going to change. And then I think it come to a point where I really thought it was the end of our family, our relationship with Danny, that I thought, yeah, now's the time. And I felt, as I said a couple of weeks ago when we did that interview, for me, feeling how I did at that point was the lowest I've ever felt. I've been in some rock bottom situations. I put myself in many of years feeling like crap, but this for me was, they say when you hit rock bottom, you definitely feel it. I definitely felt at that point. It was my lowest point.
What do you feel like for years? Well, I said years there. How long was it that you felt like you needed to change or do something different but didn't?
That's not to be proud of. It was 10 years of the cycle for me.
And what do you feel like it is that stops you from changing?
Fear, for sure. For me, fear was, I had this image of who I wanted to be and who I was to everyone. I was this Jack. I was taking everyone out on a Friday, Saturday. I just had this image of who I was, who I wanted to be for everyone else in the party life as well. So fear, and also every time I failed, it would probably get a little bit deeper of fear that I couldn't change.
Yeah, I believe it. That was the same for me. I built up that kind of identity and persona for so long that even doing something different to that is very, very fucking scary. And like what you're saying as well, comes with the trying to change. Like, can I actually do anything about the change itself? Can I change? Because I didn't even believe I could get past the weekend, let alone trying to do anything else for my life.
No, I built up for many years out because I was always 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. I'd always create something pretty special. So I started creating a business, started creating stuff, and then I'd wipe it from underneath my own feet.
Dive into that. So what is it that you done in the past? Like you said that you just want, every Friday be there for everyone and things like that. What is the business you was doing at the time?
Well, it all started really, if you want to piece it together, when I left school. I left school being a tradesman, being an electrician. In that culture, you finish Friday, straight down the pub, right? And it was always, I was doing quite well as an 18-year-old. I was actually working for myself at 18, which was good, right? I was earning good money at like £750 to £1,000 a week plus £1,500 a week, some weeks at 18. So I was doing well. Friday come, I'm with the older sort of tradesman on a Friday, pub life, finish at 2, finish at 3. You're at the pub all Friday night. Hungover on the weekend, that's how it started. And then I started employing people, having people work for me. I started taking my lads to the pub, finish early, and then it will just be carrying on from there. And then it would be like midweek for Tuesday, we'll go down the pub, finish work early. So I think it was like the tradesman sort of scenario or the culture got me into it. Then I really got hooked into that culture quite quickly. And then for me, it was more of an image thing. I'm going to take my lads to the pub. I'm going to pay for everyone. I'd go on a night out with my friends, and I was the person. Don't worry, I've got the drinks. I'll be doing like £300-400 a night out, and like, and I'm like, well, why am I doing this? Yeah. But I felt like I had to.
You had to do it, yeah.
Sure. This is me. This is who I am. And Jack's paying for the drinks,
and it always makes it worse as well. Like what I mean by that, you wake up the next. I'm just talking for myself. I wake up the next day. I've done X amount of money. I've caused this problem. I've had this trouble, and you speak to everyone else, and I'm like, "What did you do last night?" I don't know, 100 quid, 200 quid.
Yeah.
Why have I done 700, 800 quid?
How?
Yeah, what have you spent it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're buying it all for everyone. What did you get in trouble last night? No, I went home at reasonable time. What did you do? Oh, yeah, we know what you done. You had a fight, or you threw a drink at someone, or you done something. Like, I knew from early, for me, that this was probably going to go somewhere fucking stupid, because every time I went out, it was longer, it was harder, more money got spent, there was a fight, there was some trouble, there was a problem all the time with me.
For me, it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Not the fighting and trouble, but as soon as I could stay out longest and I'll be out, and there'd be no cut-off point for me.
Yeah.
And that was just how it spiraled, to be honest. And it spiraled from that to running quite a decent-sized business, quite successful at times. But like I said, I've ruined it with my own actions, my own mindset a lot of the time as well, reflecting back. So then it will be just misbehaving myself for years in my own company, which that lasted probably for 5 years. And then trying to escape from that cycle, Danny was probably the main person who probably broke me out. Don't get me wrong, it come from a lot of inside of myself at the bottom, but when I saw her and how it affected the kids, I was like, nah, it has to go.
And to begin with, did you enjoy all of this?
No.
You didn't enjoy it? Not seeing her, not hurting, but I just mean enjoy the life, the going out, the spending money. Like, was it enjoyable for you at any point?
No, because I was always spending more than what I had. So, not that I had the money, but I was never responsible with money from a very young age. Got myself into a lot of parking fines, and how I started was because I was so eager to work for myself. I got a smart car as my first car, a brand new smart car. I drove it off the forecourt. I was loving it. And then Rated People, it was like a tradesman app that you can go on and you could bid for jobs. And I had a strategy of, I'll take all the small jobs, 60, 70 quids, because I can do them in an hour. If I do 5 or 6 of them in and around London, it's 350 quid for a few hours work. I did earn that, but then I'd park illegally and get a £60 parking ticket at most jobs. Then I had the attitude of...
Nothing's changed, by the way. You just got a ticket. Sorry, bro.
I forgot to pay.
Okay.
A little bit changed, but not much. But no, for sure, that was congestion charge. So I'd get a congestion charge ticket, be the same. And then it would be like, right, Danny would be like, go and get auto pay. And I just never would do sort of admin work because I was always out again. I was always like one step ahead, trying to do more. And then it would just build up. So I don't think I'd ever enjoyed it because I was always in a bit of a rut. But I'd mask how I really felt by going out.
You built a successful business though?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah.
What gave you the confidence, the courage, the commitment to even make that possible?
There's 2 elements to it. I've always got myself out of all my bad situations, and sometimes with help of others too, for sure. People have helped me along this journey, but I've always had the attitude that I can get through this. I'm the man. I can do this myself. Building the businesses to a decent size, and I had people along the journey, but for me, like I said, I was just ruining it. Right, going out, spending the money unwisely, not dealing with stuff correctly. My mindset was, fuck it, I'll go out again.
What allowed you to actually build it? Like, because always I ask these questions because I reflect back on me. Right? I didn't even think I could really do anything. So like going out for me, I did enjoy it at one point, and it was just my life. But I actually didn't see further than the weekend. Okay. Like I didn't even think, can I build a business? Can I achieve this? Like that wasn't even a belief system in my mind. That was just, I looked at people like, how do they do it? But then I also thought, there's no way. I even still can't imagine now how you done that. I don't know you personally and all of them things, but how you describe yourself and what you said you've gone through. Like, how did you even manage to run a fucking business, being that chaotic? Like, that must have been fucking hard.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a lot. It took a lot of energy for both to keep both up. Yeah. Right. But then both of them were impacted. The business was definitely impacted, and it failed. Like there was other factors why it failed as well, but how I truly believe now is how I dealt with it and my mindset and where I was at. If I took myself now running that business, it would be hyper successful.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think back to your question, I think it comes from me being a child, and my dad took me to markets, to work on the markets from a very young age. I was always a hands-on person, so my dad sort of give me the push. I was doing chores around the house, like I was cutting the lawn from like 6, 7, 8. I was a very proactive kid, and I can do stuff myself. So I'd always my dad would get me a bike. I'd take it apart, put it back together. So I brought up I can do whatever I want to do. So at school, wasn't very successful. Mainly because I didn't put the effort in, not because I couldn't. And that's probably a class clown. Sort of that sort of persona about me at school. Always wanted to try and be the funny guy, be the popular one. Never really worried about education because I knew I could always deliver and work. That's why going into a trade, I was like, yeah, smash it. And
did that same mindset and attitude of that, not class clown, but impress people, kind of gaining that significance, go into you outside of work?
Yep.
Sounds like they just correlate.
Yeah. Danny said it many times. Who are you trying to press?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, who are you trying to be? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to? And it was many years she used to tell me, why are you paying for everyone? Like, what are you doing? And I think it's only changed in the last 6, 7 months, to be honest.
Well, I think it's external validation, right? Seeking significance and external validation from other people. That's what I thought I was doing mine for a lot of the time.
But I've always had that deep down, I always knew that I could do something.
I was about to ask that question, right? Even when you was going through all of that bad time, did you deep down know that you could be someone better, be someone more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still, and then that's what.
But then pushing that down and going against that, did that make you worse?
Yeah, because there's always been a fire inside of me, as I said, from a young kid, that I can deliver. Right? I know I'm capable of so many things, and I know I'll be honest, do things that most people can't do and push through and see stuff. And I do see quite a big picture sometimes, and I know in my head how to get there.
Yeah.
But then what I'll do is, at the same time, I'd go out twice a week, 3 times a week, let everyone down. Then my attitude, my mindset in my own current business wasn't good. So then I'm letting the business down because I'm not reacting the right way at certain points. So, for example, we had cash flow issues. We could have navigated this cash flow issues if I listened to people around me about certain directions. But I was like, no, I'm standing my ground. This is what I'm going to do, because I had that mindset and I wasn't totally clear. So my vision or my mindset at that point was masked by the feelings of being in not a depressed state, but being in a hungover all the time, right? You're mentally I don't think you're mentally in the room.
No.
I don't think I was mentally in the room for a good 10 years.
For a long time, yeah, because the cycle's so deep that when you get back round, you go back into it again.
I've done so much in that 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember much. And that's my problem. I don't remember a lot of them years.
And because I relate to what you're saying, that's why I asked the question, because I didn't see it early on. I never felt like I could always be better. Like I don't remember unless I did. Like when I looked at people earning money or succeeding and things like that, I never looked at them and thought that's possible. I actually clearly remember I think I was 17. I was doing alarm work at the time, and this guy pulled up. He must have been an electrician, and he was driving like a BMW. It was only like a 1 Series. It wasn't even that much, but I was like, how's that possible, man? Like it never clicked with me, right? But when I started to improve, and then I started to go against myself, and I knew I could be better, that's when things got worse, because I was going against me knowing I was better and letting myself down, because deep down I'm like, you can do fucking better than this, and you're not. So then you kind of self-sabotage and punish yourself even more. Like I do it, I can do it now and again. You know, if I know that my standards are up here and I might fall off my nutrition a little bit, I can kind of get in that like, you fucking let yourself down, like you're an idiot kind of thing. And you can go sort of the other way. You know what I mean? You can get yourself in the right rut when it comes to that kind of thing.
I think for me, when we started this journey together, for me, my biggest thing, as I said in my purpose statement, was being trustworthy and reliable. That's something that obviously for 10 years, especially with my own family, I was obviously trustworthy because I delivered a lot, but also I'd break that trust as many times as I'd rebuild it. So it was a consistent flow of trying to rebuild it, and then I'll just sweep it from underneath me again.
It's weird. I'm just trying to get to the point. Obviously, you know when you've hit rock bottom and it's like, fucking, I need to do something. But it's like, why do we just drag things on for so long? Like I knew that I needed to change for years. and I didn't fucking change. And then like even committing to certain things and just still not fucking change. But there was one day that we spoke about just before this thing that I was my sister's 11th party, maybe went on a complete, bender. That was sobriety piece. But before that I changed. But there was like these moments or these days when you're like, no, enough's enough. Like I'm changing that. And it's like, you don't even look back. It's not perfect, but it's like, I'm firm with this now.
Yeah, and that was definitely the feeling for me.
Yeah, I could tell because we kind of near enough jumped on board sort of not too long after you made a commitment.
It was it's hard to describe the feeling, but the way you just did like that.
Yeah, it's just that.
Something just went bang inside of me
and no more.
And it was gone.
Yeah, it's
and
gone.
From that day it was gone.
Yeah.
Like trying to describe 10, 12 years of going through that cycle to then just going, no.
No more.
No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to myself. I'm not doing it to her. I'm not doing it to the kids anymore. And I'm not going to do it for my future because I can't talk the talk as I've talked the talk many a times for 10 years. I'm going to deliver.
What is the talk the talk?
So every time I would mess up or go on a bender and come home, I would tell her that I'm sorting my life out. Like, things on the up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to smash this contract. And I'd go and get a new contract and we'll deliver something in the business again because I said I'm going to do it. And then, like I said, we've just got a new office and it was a beautiful office on the farm. We've got a lovely contract and things are on the up again. And then, same again, I slipped back into the habits. And
do you think you was looking at the wrong thing then? What I mean by that is like, I'm going to fucking change. I'm going to get a new contract. In terms of like, that's probably not the change really that you needed to make. You know what I mean? I'm going to change. I'm not going to do this no more. So I'm going to earn some more money.
Yeah.
Like
that was always how I dealt with it.
Justify it.
Yeah. Because I was always in a bit of a money rut. Like I said, earning so much, spending so much, getting myself into a bit of debt. That for me, the only way I could be successful was earning more money.
Well, I've seen it clearly with loads of people though. Like they feel like if the business is okay, then
I'm okay.
Oh, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because the business would nearly get okay, and then I wasn't okay again, and then it was a hand in hand. And I don't think you can run a successful business if you're not in tune with yourself.
Well, but a lot of people feel like they are successful or they chase a success which is just monetary or business terms. And what they do, they end up letting their relationships or themselves.
Yep.
Like to me, if I'm personally honest with you, being successful, if I had a successful business earning millions of pounds, but I am completely bang out of shape, I'm struggling to fucking get up in the morning, my body is just a mess. I just don't feel confident. And I'm not really seeing my partner or my daughter. And all of that's kind of down the pan. My own personal development and belief system is down the pan. And I'm overindulging in bad habits. Bro, I'm not a success.
Yeah,
me
for
personally,
sure.
I'm not a success. I don't see that as successful.
No, definitely. And that's the same. I was well out of shape as well, right? It wasn't
Yeah, we know. Yeah, you showed me pictures.
Teletubby sort of style. I started on Monjaro.
Yeah.
So it was way before Monjaro even come like mainstream. It was June last year I started. June to Christmas, that's when I done it. 6 months. And a few people said, what are you doing that for? Like, don't be silly. Like, and I shot off the weight. Because that was my first sort of, before I reached out, I knew I needed to shed this image. This was holding me back before I was still going out drinking at the same time. So I was like, I need to change my image first. I did that. I lost 3 stone with the Monjaro pen. And then Christmas, I was like, right, well, how am I going to keep it off? Sign up to my first marathon, right? So I was like, I started training from January to April. I wasn't training. I was out every week, twice a week. Daddy was like, how are you going to do a marathon? She said to me, how are you going to marathon next week? I was like, I went on this, it was where I started this. So the 17th of April, right? I went out and just got smashed. Like, let everyone down again. And that's when I've definitely hit, that was rock bottom for me, because the way that she reacted with me then as well was, it's done.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? I was like, fuck, like, yeah, okay. That is for me the lowest moment for sure. But then I was like, no, I'm still going to run a marathon next week. Like, I'm going to do it. Everyone's like, no. Everyone comes to support me, which is great. And I ran it in like 4.5 with little no training. And I just proved to people that I can do hard things, which was good to start with. And then that's when I reached out to you just before too. And it was,
even when you drop the weight, did you go back into old habits when you stopped using it, or is it just kind of,
oh, what, food wise?
yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
It to describe the feeling, you don't think about food for ages, and then you stop it, and then someone opens the door, and all we can think about is food.
Food, yeah. Well, it's kind of like when you do like a really restrictive diet and you get rid of everything and you hit your weight, and then you're like, floodgates open to like, let me just fucking nail it. So it was good and it helped you, but you needed to change
my whole life now.
You need to change your life.
I knew
the
that,
beliefs,
and I do actually
mindset.
think the pen helped to rewire certain parts of me.
For sure.
Maybe a belief system, or maybe
it could have probably helped the fact that you started seeing yourself different, change your self-image a little bit, change the way that you could change, and you could stick to something. 100%, 100%. So no, I think these things are a great thing, but I also do believe that on the back end of doing these things, or whilst doing these things, you have to change. Beliefs. You have to change certain habits and things.
And
like
that's
that.
probably what I was more conscious of when I reached out to you with my purpose. It was being that trustworthy partner. Then it was being the athlete, right? Because I knew that's what's going to keep me pushing. And then it will come into performance at work, right? That for me, it was always my number one.
Yeah.
But then I flipped it to be number 3 because I had to rebuild that family connection first.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought for me, how I do that is by being the fittest and the best shape I am to deliver. And then I know, because I was always confident in my performance at work or business skills, I knew if I'm doing them two right, that's just going to tail through.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like people need to hit that rock bottom to change, or can they start before?
It's a tough one. Everyone's different. I feel for me, it's evidence that I had to I had to reach that.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit bad that I had to reach that, especially where I've got a family. I'm happy I reached that now. I'm only 31, so I'm glad. I'm not glad, but glad at the same time. My daughters are young still, so I've stopped being great, but I've always been there. And for me now, I can really focus on their childhood, giving them everything that they should have, even though they had a lot when I was in the last 10 years, but really giving them back a bit more purpose from their dad as well.
Yeah. No, well, listen, I'm the same. I'm glad that I hit that fucking rock, but that rock bottom for me. Well, I felt like I hit it multiple times, but then there was that one day when it was like bang like that. But do you feel now though, if something was going on in your life, you wouldn't take it there to improve? Like, for example, if you slowly felt like you was losing your relationship with your health again, it don't have to go till jackpot's on 15 kg to be like, I need to sort something out, because you've had the experience now. Yeah,
and not just that. I think since our coaching, how I can plan, reflect, goal setting, if I'm off, everything has a purpose, right? What I'm doing in my life right now is a goal. Maybe too many little goals too many times, because that's just in my nature, but I can quite quickly pivot, reflect, and go, well, that isn't working. I'm recognizing that a bit more. Like I said, I'm in a clear mindset now, so I'm not clouded by my judgment. My judgment is very good at all times at the minute, and I think for me the biggest thing is reflecting. I've never stood still in 10 years. Never, because I never had the opportunity or gave myself the opportunity to breathe.
Or also, did you want to look at, like, I'm very self-reflective now. I love it, right? Try to tell me that in the past. Do I want to sit with myself and ask myself some difficult questions? I didn't want to do that. Did you?
Nope.
No. And you mask it, right? With
go back out.
With drugs and go back out.
100%.
You start to feel that maybe I need to change. This is getting a bit uncomfortable. Fuck this. I don't want to face up to that, because, and also this is what happens. I feel like this is why people stay stuck in a cycle, because even when you're a couple of weeks clean, sober, healthy, whatever it might be, right? You're thinking better now, and you start to feel like you can do more. But then also, you're actually faced up with you start to face some shit that you've probably done. You know what I mean? Like when I actually went on my own journey, I fucking started to, say if I stayed away for a couple of weeks, I'd start to feeling all these kind of guilty feelings, and it's because all of the actions that I've done, past relationships, people I've hurt, so on and so forth. Now, most of the time, I just went back in, because I'm like, fuck dealing with this. Like, I'm stressed, I'm feeling this way, I feel like guilty, right? I need to go back out, and I need to then only think about getting myself back up to normal again.
Yeah.
But once you actually give yourself a month and you start to dive in, that's very fucking uncomfortable. I'm grateful that I dived into all of these problems, these issues, so I could heal them on the other side. But I feel like people tend to go back because once you start getting faced with the truth, you feel shit about yourself. I did anyway because I'd done so much harm, I felt like.
Yeah, and I actually feel like I'm not in that journey right now, but for me, I'm sort of in that cycle of it pops up every now and again, that guilt.
Yeah, for sure. And it does make
Like guilt pops up, or there'll be a certain time, a certain place, drive past, and I'm like,
memory or a song.
It brings me back,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck. Like,
just to you though, bro, I'd say the biggest thing that helped me is you just got to forgive yourself.
yeah, I'm learning to do that more.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've addressed the past, especially with Danny and the family, that's really good. I've dealt with that. Now I'm forgiving myself for that time gone, which I'm still in that journey a little bit now. I still reflect, and maybe that's why I'm pushing too much sometimes, because I'm not sitting in it. I'm probably giving myself a little bit of, it's all right, you can get over that. As in what you said, forgive yourself. I feel like I forgive myself, especially with Danny and the kids. I don't feel like I forgive myself in business yet.
Bro, the only thing that I've this is going to sound fucking crazy, bro, but and then not looking at it for the far is write yourself a letter. Get everything you're saying and get it out on. I wrote myself a letter and I just said, right, this is what's happened, because I was always trying to catch up. Bro, you've wasted X amount of years.
Yeah.
You fucking better drive hard. And if I couldn't, I'd burn myself out, or I couldn't meet that expectation, it was like, you ain't got time to rest because you've been fucking an idiot the last X amount of years. So I was like, I wasn't even hard on myself. I was harsh.
Yeah.
And it started to get to a point where I was so harsh on myself that nothing was good enough, but I was actually making progress.
Yeah.
And I didn't have no one to talk to. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have no one to guide me. So it was just me and me, just fucking basically beating myself up for trying to improve.
Yeah.
But it ended up getting me nowhere. So I had to kind of develop a better relationship and kind of coach and mentor myself. And I found just getting everything out, saying, look, past is the past. You can't do nothing about that, and just forgive yourself. I sent someone else a letter just asking for forgiveness. Didn't expect them to get back to me, but just hope that by doing so, they would forgive me and I can get it off my chest and it's done. You know what I mean? But the biggest thing that's going to probably catch you up is still living in the past and what you feel like you need to make up for.
Yeah.
When you're doing enough to make up for that,
I think because I am always on the go, like I said, always trying to perform as much as possible everywhere, that when I do have them down moments, that's when it sort of hits me a little bit the hardest, where it's like, how much time have you wasted?
Yeah, you wasted time. You look back
But then,
and then you start even thinking like, I could have done this, I should have done this. Especially when you're in a mindset that you're now, because you're like, if only I had this mindset back then.
That's probably where I'm at right now.
So
I had something.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do it.
It's bad, but
do it. Well, that's one of the reasons I become a coach, because I want to, every mistake that I can't go back. And if I went back, I wouldn't go back, because I love the position that I'm in right now. So my journey needed to be the way that it was. Why I do what I do is because if I can talk to a younger Jack and I can give them the tools, the education, the knowledge, the wisdom, the support, the guidance to get into that personal development, growth, and trying to be your best self from a younger age, that's why I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I probably wouldn't listen back then, but if I did get into what I was doing now at 21, not 26, fucking hell, fuck knows where I'd be right now. That's all I want to try and do for other people, is give that. If you was to shoot some advice back to your old self, 24, 23, what advice would you give them? Something that you wish that you heard.
It's okay to try and figure things out. I always had, no, I've got it figured out. I know everything. And I never had it's okay to try and not get there, and to keep working, ask for help, be vulnerable. I never let myself vulnerable. I was always the Jack knows best, Jack's in control. And when I was trying to build the business and going through very good stages in the business and different stages of my life, I needed help or I needed advice. And I had it, by the way. I had people around me who were giving it to me. And I was in the mindset of not taking that advice because I knew better. I would say accept that you don't know it all. You need help along a journey, and take people's advice. Doesn't mean it's always right, But if you don't try or you don't sit in the advice, yeah, I know best.
How did you change? This is a great subject. How did you change the way you perceived help then to then reaching out and asking me? Well, we're gonna look when we say asking for help, yeah, as a man, that seems like weak-minded. That help.
Yeah. Failure. You failed.
Failure.
Yeah.
Help. What do you mean help? I don't need fucking help. I'm a man. I can solve this shit on myself, right? The word is asking for help, but I don't look at it in the way that people might look at asking for help. You make sense? Like, start of this year, I was in my own predicament with my own stuff going on. Everything was great. Straight away, got on the phone to high performance coach. Boom, next week we're rolling. Right, 2 weeks later, business coach. Bang, we're rolling. Right, starting this marathon, 100 mile. Right, running coach. Bang, public speaking coach. Bang. Right. I don't know if I'm going to say that's asking for help.
That's improvement, no? That's recognising where you need improvement.
And getting someone to help you improve.
Yeah.
But the way that we look at that is I'm asking for help.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense?
You frame it in such a negative way.
Such a negative way, yeah? If the tyre blows on my car and I'm not going to do it, what do? I ring someone to come help me, yeah? If like, to come help me. But I don't look at that as asking for help in a way
Crying
that I'm
out.
needing, crying out. I need someone to fucking rub my shoulder and pat my back. Help. That's what men perceive as help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think my ego definitely would get in the way of me. Jack, I know fucking best. Well, who's going to tell me what? I know what to do. I'm going to figure this shit out. And I think that mindset kept me trapped for so long that I wasn't able to fully progress and push on in certain elements of my life because I know best. Who else is going to help me? Yeah, like
it's like a mirror here.
Yeah, but there you go. So you didn't want to ask for help then, because the way that we probably perceive it. But then you've reached out to me, you've jumped on board, and we've got cracking. And like, what was the shift there?
I think the asking for help, I knew I needed to change, and I felt obviously what bottom. And I thought if I don't change now, my life is not what I want it to be, family and where I want it to go. So I knew it wasn't therapy because I wasn't depressed. I wasn't sitting at home going my life. So I was still trying to get out and still trying to perform. But I was just obviously negative cycles, negative habits bringing me back down and let everyone down. So when I obviously saw your content, as I said, and I was like, that's what it is. I just don't feel like I know my why. I don't know if I know my purpose. I don't know if that's what I know, but I know I want that. I know I'm not asking for someone to sit in a room and for me to tell my life story and tell me that I've got childhood issues and all that sort of stuff. I know I don't. I had a great childhood. Like, I know I don't have any of these issues or this. I just know I don't have something a bit more. It was all to do with how I felt about myself because of the negative side for so many years that I had to break. And that sort of break in asking for help was, I knew I needed to improve. And that was the main thing for me. It wasn't so much, I need help, come and save me. It was, right, get me to that point. I know I need to get to that point.
You just don't know how to get to that point.
I was lost at that point.
But even that, did you feel any type of way about reaching out and asking for help?
No, I felt so, maybe reflecting back, yes. But at the time, I was so like, it's now or never.
Yeah.
Go.
Like, I look at all of these the same. I did go the therapy route when I first, right? Because I went and I was like, I don't know anything about anything. I don't know the way that I'm acting. I don't know why I'm acting. The thoughts that's going on mine is fucking cuckoo land. And it's like, I wanted to dive in. And the more I went, and she started saying to me, listen, I think I got great with the person that I went, and I was so against all of this. And then it was like, well, you're acting like this. Yes, because let's talk about childhood for a minute. And it brings up, and it's like, oh shit, maybe there is something going on here. And then the more you dive in, the more aware you become. Then I went every week for fucking 4 months because I was like, I'm ready to address anything that we're talking about now. Negative money beliefs, what, childhood? Right, let's talk about that. I was just fucking there like every single week. And I'm happy to say now, even if I'm going for a bad spot and I don't know why, I don't know why I'm getting the results that I want. I don't know why I feel the way that I feel. I'm happy to reach out to a therapist and say, right, let me just get this out with you and let's discuss this. And you tell me how you help me think. You've studied it. You know, you're going to know better than me. Like, I'm good with that. But then when it comes to, say, high performance life coach, some people still think it's that same there's this thing about asking for what we perceive as help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
especially being trying to be a high performer, or everyone trying to run a business, and you're sort of not a high performer, but you're trying to be a high performer before reaching out, and you're sort of doing okay. That's probably even harder to reach out. Because in your head, you're trying to build something, and then you're trying to reach out, and you're thinking, but I already know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do I need any more help?
Yeah. And I don't look at it no different from a nutritionist or a PT. Like, what I mean by that is, if I don't know what I'm doing, want to train, get a nutrition coach, I'm just going to get someone to train me and do my nutrition.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people struggle with. Even if it's not a coach, but just like, if anyone needs assistance, guidance, reach out to someone in that area, that expertise. But I think a lot of us have got fucking just an ego and an attitude to say like, no, I know best.
Yeah.
But something that really helped me is, you don't know shit. And that's as simple as it is. Like, even if I feel like my mindset's up here, I will get someone whose mindset's up here, and I say to myself, if you knew what you was doing,
you'd already be there.
You already be there.
For sure.
You don't know. You're not as good as what you think you are.
Yeah.
So like, you either try and figure it out for yourself, waste time, energy, effort, money, so on and so forth, or you get this person that's clearly done it, that's going to give you the steps so you can follow the steps. Like, I think it's quite empowering, or a manly thing to do, that you want to grow, you want to fucking progress. Get support, get guidance. And I'm not just saying this as a bias, a coach, or trying to sell my fucking coaching here by any means. It could be anything. But if you don't know how to eat healthy, get a nutritionist. You don't know how to train, get a PT. You don't know how to build your business, get someone to build your business. Take a book, do a course, get a coach, get a mentor, reach out to someone, learn from someone. Mate, I am the most fucking inquisitive annoyance, or want to know everything so I can improve. And if I don't know how to do it, I am not going to sit there and try and figure this shit out for myself.
I think for me, the mindset has changed as well. Reaching out to you was that first point of, I saw it as I needed help, and now I saw it as more of a, how do I get to that next step in my life, right? As more of a coaching, more of a stepping stone, right? To make me improve every aspect of my life. Now it's the same with you, right? I want to improve my fitness. I've got a coach, person, PT. Right, I want to improve my speech and communication coach. I want to improve in my skills at work, right, after university.
Yeah.
Like, for a guy that left school with nothing is starting, it just makes sense to do that now. Like, how I need to get to there, what's the best route to get there?
Yeah.
What do I need to improve on? Right, let's go and get it.
Yeah, I'm going for the same stage at the moment. I'm trying to improve my personal brand. I'm trying to get something for the app. I'm trying to get all these marketing stuff together, and it's like, I don't know fucking what I'm going to do that. So I need to find someone that's going to basically say, you're here, you're here, you've got this vision, you want to be here, this is what we need to do, this is how much we charge, let's do it.
And you know you can deliver it because you've got the tools and frameworks in front of you
properly.
You got the attribute in yourself to deliver it, but there's certain things you just need guidance on the way, which is fine to ask
for help. For
is
sure. There another word for help, or is it just fucking help, innit? You know what I mean?
It's just being comfortable.
It's just being comfortable for asking. And
yeah.
mate, I think the more honest, open, vulnerable you are, it's like, it's not a weak thing. And that's what I'd love to break down for people. And that's why I just wanted to dive so much into this, because like, I know so many people hold themselves back, or I was that way in the past. And the mindset was, I can do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone. Things are going good. But why do you want things to go good? Don't you want things to be fucking excellent?
Yeah.
Be in excellent shape. Be an excellent runner. Be an excellent communicator.
Yep.
You know, like you said, you've come out of school, no GCSEs and stuff like that, and you're going to go university to do a new
AI leadership course
to get fucking excellent at it.
Yeah.
Not look at it on ChatGPT.
Nope.
Not watch some videos.
Nope. Not a free online course.
Free online course. Not YouTube. No. Top tier, I want to get excellent. And once you start implementing that attitude and that mindset of just being excellent, like my running, my performance, my nutrition has come at such a great level for someone who, I wouldn't class myself as an athlete, because I've got coaches that give me all of their methods, and all I need to do is follow it.
Yeah.
If I just wing the nutrition, wing the running, wing the training, there's no way I'm going to be at a fucking excellent standard. And once you start getting hooked, this is something that really helped me. Once I said I was going to go sober, I was like, I want to be great at a lot of things so I can be in any room, being myself without substance. Meaning, if I want to be in a room and communicate and talk to everyone, well, I'm going to be a public speaker because that's the only way I'm going to be able to bridge that gap. You know what I mean? I want to be in shape. I want to be in control. I want to look fresh. I want to have more money. I want to build a business. I want to just become someone that's great. And I feel like everything I've done drinking drugs for was to try and get what I've accomplished sober.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah. Show that you've got money when you haven't got money. Buy all the nice clothes. Be a big ego. Be flash, be arrogant, be fucking,
have that persona,
be lad, have that persona that I'm fucking here, that come from drinking drugs. Can I get that without drinking and doing drugs? And I've managed to fulfill that. And that's why when people say to me, will you ever go back? I'm like, I just don't see the need because that brings me chaos and destruction. This doesn't.
Yeah, it was to touch on that as well. Danny was talking about it the other day and how things have changed quite rapidly for us as a family, right? It's not been years yet. We're still in our first 6-7 months of this journey, but this 6-7 months does feel like years now because even Danny was like, she was just like, I know you're not going to go back to that because you're so disgusted with yourself and you're so hurt by it. She knows, and I know, both of us, that's gone. And the fuel and the fire is now, is to absolutely go ahead.
Question, why wouldn't you go back? Especially when your ego should be bigger now. That makes sense. Like, back in the past, like you have a couple of fresh weeks. Yeah. You feel better. You look better. You feel healthier.
Yeah, and you go 10 times harder.
Celebrate this.
Yeah, 10 times harder.
I need to go out, bro, because I'm feeling great now.
I've been texting my mate, like, we're going out tonight.
Yeah, because I've been in for 2 weeks and I feel fresh.
I've been to the gym twice.
I've been to the gym. Like, everything's going good, So if anything, you should feel like, 7 months away from it. I'm running ultra marathons. I'm fucking healthier. I'm earning more money. Everything's great. Why not go and fucking celebrate this? Not say like, why not? Why not go back into the drink and drugs?
I think for me, it's got to be that feeling of disappointment after, of regret. You've let everyone down. And because everything I started this journey was to become trustworthy and reliable, because that would help me in all aspects, that would be like I've looked at Danny, the kids, and everyone around me in the eyes, changed and said, I am this person and I feel this person. And if I cut that from me, I'd feel like the biggest disappointment in the world, to the point where I don't think I would come back from it.
No,
I know that we said this when we were for a run a couple of last week. If I did go down that direction, it would be so bad that it would be catastrophic. It would be one for me where there is no return. And that's probably more fuel for me to go, not for me.
Outside of the strong rock bottom and the why of like, I don't want to let my family, down. That's obviously one thing that's held you accountable to say go sober and choose this path of progression, right? What do you feel like is a couple of other things that has kept you focused, locked in, pushing forward, that's allowed you just to keep upping your potential?
The biggest thing for me is my running and my fitness is probably the second biggest thing, because I tried boxing. I got into boxing. I got into all different sort of fitness. Tried lots of strength PT, and I never found the love or the right I call running for me is like meditation, and I do run a lot for someone who's not run that long. For me, it is my sort of time where I actually do a lot of reflecting in my running. I use it as a tool for me to really. I like finding out who I am in a run. And when I finish a run that's hard, or the ultra or the 20k, it's mad. Like I've done a half marathon before we met today, and that for me seems normal now. So trying to get into that zone where running for me is my reset sometimes. So having 2 young kids, Danny works full time, I work full time. Obviously, I run full time. Trying to fit all them together, there's obviously some stressful moments. I used to deal with that and go and have a drink, and it was obviously spiral out. Now I deal with that is, right, I still have my plan, but I'd go for an extra run because I know that's something that helps me break down them negative thoughts or them stresses. Being a consistent training plan or consistent at running for me has allowed me to sort of filter into everything else. because you become more disciplined, you become more trustworthy with yourself, to the point where I know if I've delivered that run or I've gone further, I trust myself. And then I'm doing trustworthy things. I'm planning, I'm reviewing, I'm delivering every day in all aspects, not just family, not just work, not just fitness, but just in all walking day-to-day breathing life. Is everything is structured, as we said earlier, maybe too structured sometimes. And then you get annoyed that things haven't happened and it throws things off for a couple of days. But it's just finding that balance. Second, if running for me is, or the fitness is, I've really found for me to be the best person, this is a big part of what I do. Because I explained earlier, it was family first, running and work, because I know work doesn't get left behind. I've always been very capable at my work, to the point where I've delivered work for all the negative 10 years at a decent standard. Now I'm so comfortable at home, so comfortable in my fitness, that this has gone up like 10 times. And it's only going to go up because I put the energy at home, I put the energy into the fitness. And now for the next 12 months, this AI leadership course, going back to studying, really becoming a better leader as well, because the influence that I have with people around me is my whole sort of professional mindset is only elevated because of them two things as well.
See, having the clarity on, which is a principle that we obviously, I'll dive in through the coaching, just who you want to be.
Yep.
Is that a catalyst for everything?
Yeah. I've touched on it many a times. That purpose statement, who I wanted to be, was the number one sort of anchor point.
Yeah. Because then everything aligns with that. Because repeatedly, all I've heard is I want to be trustworthy.
Yeah.
I want to be
reliable.
I
want to be performing.
I want to be fit.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
I want to be these things.
I say that over and over again every week.
Yeah. And if you're doing anything that contradicts that,
yep, it goes.
It's gone. You're clear.
Yeah.
So if you know who you want to be, right now I have to do all of the actions that match exactly that person.
Yep. And that's probably why I get annoyed sometimes when I've planned certain actions or certain tasks or certain things that I have to do, because that's leads me into this person and it goes off track, and I'm like, not scared, but you're just like, well, that's not what I was meant to do, and I'm meant to do this. So it's becoming a bit more of a okay with certain situations, and sitting in, we touched on it earlier in the podcast, sitting in with that, not guilt, but letting go, because I still hold on to that a little bit too much. That's why I want to do more and more.
Did you know who you wanted to be when you was going through your rough stage?
Yeah, I know. No, I'll rephrase that. No, but yes, because no, I didn't know who I wanted to be, but yes, I wanted to have a very successful business.
Yeah,
and that's what I classed myself as I was just going to have a successful business.
Yeah, you knew the goal you wanted to achieve.
Yeah, but there was
you didn't know who you
substance
wanted to be.
I was.
Yes. Yes.
But in my head, that was my purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Building a successful business. And
why?
Because I want
to show that, to prove to everyone that I've built this business.
Yes, okay.
I'm not a failure. I've not let everyone down. I've got a successful business.
And was it also a why attached to that, like, because I want to support the family too? Or was it just like, I want to show people?
Probably a why at some points for that, but it was more so of the failure and people saying to me, you can't run a business.
And not enough that it held you accountable enough to be someone better. What I mean by that is, a lot of people, when I talk about purpose with people, you know, yeah, of course I've got purpose. I've got kids, or I'm building a business. But if that was truly your purpose, you wouldn't be going out every single week.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely obviously made them comments along the journey. Yeah, I've got kids. I'm doing it for my kids.
I'm doing it for my kids. I've got purpose.
But some points, obviously you are in a way, but you're not, because your actions say otherwise, right?
Well, yeah, and I'll be honest with you, and this is probably people are probably not going to like when I say this, but the truth is, if your kids mattered that much to you, and might hurt you because it was you in the past, like, you wouldn't do the things that you're doing.
You sound like Danny.
But,
I sound like Danny.
But it's the truth.
100%.
It's the truth. And I don't know if that's biased in me saying it now, because I changed myself before I had a daughter. Yeah. But so that could also seem like, but you're in a good spot saying that. And it's just like, but really, if we think about, and I think about it, I now know I would never go back, not just for my own purpose, for my daughter. Like there's no way that I'm going to let my daughter see her dad for things that who he was in the past.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And I just personally believe if anything in your life is that important to you, you would stop doing the things that you're doing.
Yeah, and I think to touch on it, obviously, I had my kids along this journey. So for me, what's changed is the kids seeing who I am now and seeing their trustworthy dad, and I'm delivering, I'm there, I'm present. There's purpose to everything. That now is the same. What you touched on, you can't go back because they know who their father is now.
Yeah,
that there is no U-turn.
Yeah.
That I've done that for them. So,
and I'm also speaking from a good place, by the way. So, like, what I mean by that is, if I was you like, listen, how old are you?
31.
31, right? You know, you said the last 10 years have been like this, yeah. So, when did you have your child?
Nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, 21?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So, like, I wasn't 21, 22, 23, 24 with kids.
Yeah.
They were probably the worst stages of my life. So, I also didn't have the self-awareness. Didn't have, I would say, mainly the self-awareness to actually realise anything back then. So I'm also saying what I'm saying now from an older, maturer space. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say if they meant that much, you should fucking change, because even when I knew I should have changed, but then I also didn't feel like I had any purpose back then, so I didn't change.
I think that's what made it harder for me at certain points where you did then mess up, or you then let people down because you had the kids.
Yeah,
you had it hurt so much more.
Yeah,
so it kept getting you've let everyone down again. So it hurts every time. It actually hurt even more.
Yeah,
and then you do it. You feel like you had to then, when you did let someone down again, because you know it's going to hurt again. You're going to. It sounds bad, but you're going to go out on a bang again.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're going to let yourself down even more.
So for me now, if you flip it, now I've changed everything and delivering in so many ways that now is the tipping point where...
Yeah, I think I like to help people with that. I think it's like, look, if you feel like your kids are your purpose, but look, we're talking a lot about drinking drugs here, yeah? But your vices might not be drinking drugs. If at the moment, like I don't know, you're overly gambling and you're spending all your money and you're not supporting your family,
sure.
you're fucking, I don't know, not being present at home, you're focused on work and your health's out of whack and you're completely lethargic and ain't got time and energy for your kids. If you are going out doing drinking drugs all of the time and you have got kids and you keep saying to yourself, I want to improve because I've got kids, or I'm doing it for my kids, it's like, I just don't think you know what that means yet.
No.
You don't know what 100%. That means yet. Does that make sense? Like, ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Like, why does that even matter? Yes, I have kids, but why does it matter that I'm healthy for them?
Yeah.
Why does it matter that I stop drinking and doing drugs? Why does it matter that I need to improve my knowledge and my beliefs?
Yeah.
Me, I don't drink and drugs because I don't want my daughter to see that old version of me. Yeah. Why do I want to earn loads of money? Yes, because I want to make sure that she has an exceptional life, because there's certain things that I might have felt like I missed out on that maybe led me to go on a certain path. I don't want her to experience that. Why do I want to get even more knowledgeable and change my belief systems and go to therapy? Is because I don't want her to adopt all of the beliefs that I adopted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think if people can understand that side of it, just deepen the why, that's when things really start to click.
Yeah, and it did for me. I think the reaching out bit, as we touched on many times, was that reaching out. And then when we worked on the why and who you want to be, that's when it really become more set in stone for me. And it actually, as I said, looking back and forgiving yourself, what Danny said to me many a time sort of pieces together.
Yeah.
But in my mind, and there's many times where I'd push back and go, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
They do matter.
Yeah.
But exactly what you just said, which is the truth, is if they mattered, you would have changed. And I used to push back, and of course you guys, like, if it's, don't be silly, you all matter. Like.
But it's just, we've all got different lenses of the world and we see things different and things come at different times. And it's just maybe because you just didn't really understand at that moment what that meant.
Was in a whirlwind of stuff going on.
Right, but then also, this is me. When me and my partner, we first had our daughter. Yeah. This is how we see things different. My girlfriend might have wanted more help from me.
Yep.
I don't know, changing nappies, getting up at night, doing whatever. But she wasn't working at that time. My business wasn't doing that great. So I was working harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wants help. I'm like, I'm helping enough.
Yeah.
Can't you see what I'm doing over here?
Yeah. Trying to make this
I'm working harder for us.
Yeah.
But that's not the help that she maybe wanted.
No, so then if
None of
more
us are
friction.
wrong.
Yeah.
More friction.
More friction. Yeah.
None of us are actually wrong. We've both got the best interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just wants more time so she can be a better mum, and she wants me to build a connection with my daughter. I am striving forward, being the hunter, being the fucking gatherer. Trying to deliver for yous.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, can't she see this? Do you think I'm doing nothing? That's why we went and see the same therapist, because the woman, basically, like the person that we both see, both told us to shut up.
Yeah.
What do you
want from each other?
What do you love about each other? Mm-hmm. What do you want from each other? What's going on in your mind, Jack?
Yeah.
And what are you trying to do? Kath, what's going on in your mind? We're both going like this.
Yeah.
But we just see it differently. Mm-hmm. And that's why you need to fucking communicate. No, you don't have to go see a therapist, but we think different.
Yeah.
So there's no blame or right or wrong. It's just when you don't see things for what they are, sometimes it's hard to make that change that you want or live by the changes that are really needed.
Yeah, I was so wrapped up in the business for probably 5 years. It got up to a decent size, and we had cash flow issues many a times, and self-inflicted sometimes, but not self-inflicted sometimes. And it would be like you got people to pay. So that's why my life was so chaotic. I've got staff who I have to pay. They've got families. You're going through that time. You're not delivering for your family in the way that you should be. You're misbehaving at the same time. So the three together, you're out of shape. So your mind, everything just doesn't work. And now that I honestly believe, and it sounds bad, not bad, but I'm so strange to say that I believe this, because changing your belief system. Like, I believe who I am today. Like, I believe that I am everything that I've set out to be, and also everything that I've told everyone what I'm going to be, delivered it. Like, for me, if you've got a tick list now, I'm pretty sure if I handed that to people and said, who do you think Jack is now? I'm pretty sure everything that I set out, my purpose statement.
What's made you believe it so much?
Two things. The conversations with Danny is the first probably highlight. We've touched on it many times. The messages, the confidence, the belief in her. Even the relationship now I've got with my kids. Even that, they don't tell me, because obviously they can't. But even though I see it, the relationship I have with my kids, that's the second belief. And then delivering each week, each time, and reflecting and looking, and everything that I do aligns with my why and my purpose. And for the last 6 months, I don't think I've missed a beat at all.
So keeping your word, staying consistent, staying committed.
I'm reliable, I'm trustworthy.
To others, but to
myself.
To yourself, most importantly.
Yeah. And if I'm to myself, it's for everyone else.
Yeah, and I always say that to everyone. What's the biggest thing you can do to build this belief in yourself?
Yeah, for me, it starts with me. I talk about doing it for them. I talk about doing it for everything else. But I know without me and me in my best shape, me understanding who I am, what I want to achieve, they don't get any part of me, because they get the old Jack, they get the negative Jack. They don't get everything that I can deliver starts with me, and it just feeds into everything else.
This is a random question. Do you feel like you were ever changed if you didn't have a family and kids?
Probably not. Because it's two parts to it. There's the internal bit I knew I had to change, and I wanted to be successful, and it's inside of me, right? We've touched on that from a young kid. Like, there's always been a drive with me. I've always been get up and go, no matter what situation. It's just I've just burnt so many bridges along the way. But it's also with her reminding me of what I've got outside of what external factors I'm trying to chase.
Yeah.
Like I said, chasing validation from everyone else. But she's like, look what you got here. Look at your kids. Look at her. I'm here for you. But I was so like, no, I want that.
Because even though they're a big part of the purpose, are you a big part of your own purpose?
Yeah, for sure now.
Yeah, that's now. But now you.
Now
are.
I am.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
It sounds bad. I'm at the core of everything.
Yes.
So it's not being self-inflicted, but I know I can't deliver for anyone else unless I deliver for myself.
No, and that's what I made. Now I have a broader purpose in terms of a lot of things, and I define purpose in all different ways. But I feel like what I wanted to kind of put across there was like, I know that you're your purpose. Now I'm my own purpose, and I think people, if they can understand that, they can dramatically change their life. You don't need kids. You don't need a family.
No.
You don't need a passion. You don't, have to grow up thinking that your purpose is something in life. It's like, you are your own purpose.
Yeah.
Like, show up for yourself, understand who you want to be in life, and do everything you can to align with that. Like, you are enough of a reason
To do it for yourself.
to do
Yeah.
everything you want to do and change your life.
Yeah.
If you're at rock bottom, you don't need to look externally. Just look yourself in the mirror and make you the purpose, and wake up every single day trying to be a better version of you.
Yeah.
I do that now. But like, even at the start, that was my own purpose. It was just me. Didn't have kids, didn't have a relationship, didn't have all these things. It was just like, you're the only one that's going to get yourself out of this, and you need to fucking make you the purpose. And I feel like that's what you've really dived into. And by you doing that has allowed you to show up for fucking everyone else in your life.
Yeah, because I feel like if I can show up for myself, on them days where you don't want to show up for yourself, I know that it does feed into everything.
And it feels selfish at times, right? Like, you've got to do so much for yourself, but by doing so much for yourself, you can be better for everyone else.
Yeah, and that's what I'm balancing right now is, we touched on it earlier, is trying to balance of not doing too much because you're striving to do more. Obviously, performing high, and you're going to go through so many goals and settings and so many achievements quicker than what you have done in how many years. But then you start to believe that you can do a whole lot more, and it becomes more natural for you. So you just got to be mindful of around you, right? So especially with a family. So now I'm looking in going, right, am I putting enough into the family time as much as I'm putting into myself? Just balancing that out a little bit, because where I am booking in so many events, training, because that's one of my core values. Am I booking enough time in with the family and making sure we've got enough time with the family that's meaningful at the same time? Because that's a huge factor of my life. And as we touched, starting this course education next year and how many hours that's going to take. So now it's really balancing the three together, and making sure everything aligns. And I want to touch on the coaching for the minute, because I think the coaching allows you to really understand whatever your why is or whatever purpose. Everyone's different, right? For me, it's the three I call them 3 pillars of my life: family, fitness, and professional. They all have to work for any one of them to work. I can't be performing one and not the other two. They all have to be not all in line at the same time. Some pulls more than the other, but if them 3 aren't working for me, I don't have who I set out to be, who my purpose is, and my why. It has to go in hand in hand, because as much as we say, when I was owning the business and going through them failures, and that was like the core, I wanted to do the business, it is just part of me to build something. I like being successful and building businesses. I like working for myself, or the business that I'm in now, we're building an EV infrastructure business in the UK, and I'm a part of that, which has kept me stable, has kept me on this journey, which is good. That's a big part of my development. The fitness, the home, it's just all in line, because I can't do one or the other.
And is it possible to align them all?
It is, but how the nature of it, what I've learned is you have to swing at certain times depending on your goals, each different one. So if I have a goal, a family, I need to do more family time. I want to spend more time with the kids because of they've got more activities. I want to put more time in that. Then I know I can't do more running because of time with them, and I know I can't do more education at work because of that. So I've got to be mindful as
being structured, but also flexible, not too rigid.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
Being structured, but allowing flexibility.
Yeah, learning on that still.
Yeah, bro, so am I. 2 things before we wrap up, Jack. What's one thing that you're proud of throughout the coaching, or just your own journey from who you was to where you are now? One thing that you're proud of.
Becoming a trustworthy father and partner.
Powerful. What does becoming the best you mean to you?
Showing up and delivering every day for yourself.
Love that, brother. Thank you. Great conversation.